What do you mean she won't do it? Virginia shouts. Minnie signals for her to lower her voice to prevent us from being shushed by Miss Darden again, but Virginia can't seem to help herself. She said that it simply wouldn't be appropriate, Becky says nervously as she glances at us all in turn. It's probably my fault, I say as I turn to Virginia. She's doing this to screw with me. Either that, or she's had some conversation with your parents we don't know about. Or mine, Jacob volunteers. My parents don't like her. She doesn't like my parents. It's not exactly a secret. Well, Minnie says after a moment, searching for a way to put a positive spin on it. Think of it this way. We plan to host it at the Glen. We can still hold it there. It just means our original plans haven't changed. Do you know who's officiating it? I ask, glancing back to Virginia. Maybe we can get them to do it sooner? My dad volunteered to do it, Minnie pipes up. Magical families tend to ask family friends to officiate in cases like these. My father has known both Virginia and Jacob since they were children. Makes sense, I reply. I just wish Potsdam would have said yes, and then we could have gotten this whole thing over with. You and me both, Virginia grumbles. Although, speaking of, isn't your anniversary coming up soon? Hieronymous can't make it, I reply bitterly. He sent me a letter last night telling me that he asked to work, but he'll arrange something for Valentine's Day. At least that's only a few weeks away, Minnie reminds me, but I just shrug. Aren't anniversaries supposed to be special, though? I ask. I mean, when we got married, he didn't even come to the Glen with us. Then, the year after, I was still under the effects of the memory spell Damien used on me, and I didn't remember we were married, so we couldn't celebrate it then. And then, last year, we were giving each other the silent treatment. I was waiting for him to say something to me, and he was waiting for me to say something to him, and so neither of us actually even said anything to each other our whole anniversary. Ouch, Virginia says as she cringes. Now that's harsh. We made up on Valentine's Day, at least, I volunteer, but I was hoping that we'd get to celebrate our anniversary at least once before I graduated. Maybe that doesn't have to be your anniversary, Minnie offers, and we all turn to look at her. Well, that was the day you saved his life and the day you made the contract official, but maybe there's another day where you both did something really special together that could be your new anniversary, like around the holidays or something. There's always May Day, Virginia teases as she glances towards me, and suddenly they're all looking at me curiously. That's true, I say after a moment. What happened on May Day? Becky asks. Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing you at the May Day ball, Jacob volunteers, and I don't remember Professor Grabiner chaperoning it either. No, he lets other teachers take care of that since he supervises the dark dance, I explain. But, no. The first May Day, I went to his room and said I wanted to take the marriage seriously. Potsdam had been pushing us to get together all spring, like, literally, she had me bring tea up to his rooms to give us an excuse to talk to each other. He kissed me and told me in no uncertain terms that he'd consider it, but told me I could write to him over the summer, and we did exchange a few letters before I came back early. Virginia snickers. And then on your second May Day, the two of you... Shush! I scold, glancing around to make sure we weren't being overheard. Seriously, we're all adults. I'm married. I'm sure people can put two and two together for themselves. I was going to say made your relationship official, Virginia teases, but if you want to tell everyone about the first time you did it with Grabby, then be my guest. I flush, feeling my cheeks go hot. We will not be talking about that. But it sounds like May Day is an important day for you, Minnie says after a moment to dispel the awkwardness that had descended upon our conversation. Maybe you can celebrate your anniversary on May Day instead. I do actually like the thought of that, I venture. I can bring it up to him tonight. However, when I get back to my room that night, I don't write to Hieronymous right away. Instead, I take advantage of the alone time in my room in order to pull out the scrying orb that Melodia had given me. I didn't want Virginia or Becky to see what I was doing, knowing the torrent of questions it would inevitably bring, and so I kept it hidden. I hadn't received any more specific images. I continued to meditate on it daily, but I kept seeing a lot of swirling colors that never seemed to visualize into any specific shapes. A few times I thought I could see trees in a forest, but perhaps that was just my mind trying to make sense of the abstract shadows. Today, though, was a different story. It took a while of focusing, but suddenly the colors resolved themselves, and I was able to see a solid image, each one associated with a specific color. Green, a long sloping field. Orange, the sky. Gray, a small house that looked to be constructed of stones that had been roughly assembled together. In my mind, I try to imagine taking a step towards the house, but the image quickly fades away and I'm left staring at a navy blue swirl in the void. Was that where Hieronymous was now? It was somewhere in the other world, clearly, judging by the orange sky, but what could it mean? Was it a place that I would visit later? Was it a place connected to Hieronymus's past? Or someone else's past? Was it just the symbolism of a house in a field that was supposed to mean something? I had no idea. I remember what Melodia had told me about keeping an open mind, and so I decided not to focus on it. If I did, I would only try to convince myself to come up with a concrete explanation, and there was no way to understand what was really going on here. If anything, I would only end up convincing myself of the wrong conclusion, and I had no idea what kinds of possible ramifications that could leave me with. I quickly put the orb away and began crafting a letter to Hieronymous to let him know Becky had failed to secure Potsdam's help in officiating their wedding. Hieronymous. So, even though we all thought that Potsdam would be all for it, she is refusing to officiate Virginia's wedding. I'm not sure if she's doing it to spite me or because she has something worked out with Virginia's parents, but we're back to hosting it at the Glen. Minnie explained to me the complex family history between the Danson family and the Blazing family, and I know Potsdam doesn't like Jacob's parents, but what about the Dansons? Do they get along? Anyway, I was sort of bummed about you missing our anniversary, and my friends brought up an interesting idea to help me feel better. We have never celebrated our anniversary on any year that we've been together so far. If anything, May Day was the day that you kissed me, the day we made our marriage super official, and it just always seems to be a date of first for us. And I know you'll always definitely be here since it marks my graduation as well. This seems awkward to ask over a letter, but can we change our anniversary to officially be on May Day instead? We can still celebrate January 25th as our wedding day or something, but May 1st just feels more appropriate. What do you think? Yours always, Tori. With that written out, I send the letter and am about to hop back into bed when I can feel the scrying orb calling out to me in the back of my mind. I hadn't told Hieronymous about what I had seen, but then again, if I did, he might just worry about me. I know I shouldn't keep secrets from him, but was this a secret? He knew Melodia had given me the orb, and I had already told him that I was going to use it. I wasn't telling him what I saw, but did I have to? Where did the line between my private thoughts end and my relationship with Hieronymous begin? I didn't know, but then again, there were a lot of things I didn't know. I hadn't even graduated high school yet. Hopefully, those answers, like my graduation day, would all come in time.